What's going on, everybody? It's David Palmer, Leo King, and this is my show, Uncut Astrology, where I take off the mask or the veil and I go deep into the astrological week of January the 13th through the 19th of 2016. Yes, I said 2016. I know I sucked last week. I was saying 2015 on Horoscope still. It's not easy when we move into a new year. When I was a kid and I used to always, when you went into January and you were so used to writing that year at the end, of the top of your corner of your paper, I always screwed up that first couple weeks all the time. It was like 97. No, wait, it's 98, It was that long ago. But I still do it now. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about this week. Of course, it feels like we always have something to talk about in the astrology world. But one of my favorite transits in astrology, it's a Sun-Jupiter day to start this week off. That means the Sun and Jupiter are in a trine. And whenever you deal with the Sun and Jupiter, you deal with hope, you deal with optimism, but more importantly, you deal with the new options in your life. And it is all about observation, perception, and beliefs right now, not only because Saturn is in Sagittarius, but because this is the North Node and Jupiter conjuncting as well. So not only is the Sun and the North Node looking at each other while Jupiter's there, but get this, Mercury retrograde passes over the Sun at the same time. So January 13th to me is like a holy day. It's a holy shift moment. This is all while the moon's going to be in Pisces, squaring Venus, which is squaring Chiron. This means we are all about to really start to see this new road in our life, this new perception, and how we're dealing with that perception of this new road. I guarantee you there are awesome opportunities that have landed in front of you now. But with Venus square Chiron and the moon over it, the past, and do you really think you can make it through this one or not? Or do you feel like, I always like to say in my monthly horoscope, I said it's like going on a date and like totally not getting the kiss, or it's kind of like, showing up and it not working out. There's a feeling where you are doubting yourself, and we have to get through that. This is a very destined portal time in our life. I say that because the North Node is involved, with Jupiter and the Sun looking at it and Mercury retrograde all looking at this spot. What a way to start this week, right? I mean, it's tremendous the amount of energy that we are stepping into with this. Sun-Jupiter is the biggest of energies. It's the Sun, the biggest star in the sky, right? And then we've got Jupiter, the biggest planet. And highlighting these zones really signals to me that even though we're in a Mercury retrograde, it's time to start to see where this is all going. The other thing that really kind of coincides with this is Mars in Scorpio making a trine to Neptune this week. So even though you'd think it's a positive Mars and Neptune, no matter whatever the hell he's doing, let's call her a she. She's a she. She makes it vulnerable, even in a positive aspect. Because Neptune, no matter what, is going to make it very spiritual and very beautiful, but it's going to also be very soft, and it's, Pillsbury Doughboy. Pillsbury Doughboy. And when Mars is in Scorpio, that likes to be really strong and brave and courageous and get to the bottom of things and pull up from the deepest phoenix and rise up. There's Neptune in Pisces, where it's very, sensitive. And this is us pushing through our sensitivities in a positive way. I think that this is us really realizing we need to move forward. We need to not let the past affect us. And we need to cut the deep cords that are connected to the past. So this is a week where we're cutting the deep cords of the past because there's this new frontier in front of us. Jupiter to me is the frontier. The other aspect of this is Venus finally coming off of Chiron and is going to square Jupiter by the end of this week. So another test, as Venus is going to square the nodes and it's going to square Jupiter, another test on your belief systems that you are seeding and growing on whether or not you're truly getting too specific on how it's supposed to be. We're going to start to realize as all these new developments come this week, it's like, oh my gosh, it needs to be this way. It's like, hello, it's not going to just happen that way, sorry. And if you think that you've got it all figured out and it's going to happen this way, I hate to be honest with you, you're going to realize by the end of this week that it's all about being open. It's all about kind of going with the flow. It's all about just learning to realize that these opportunities are here and there are many different ways that they're going to happen. But if you're trying to specifically deal with it in a certain way, you're going to get a little lost. And I think that's because Venus square Jupiter in Virgo is saying, in order to see great opportunities and great beliefs, if you're not open about your specific ideology, your specific ideas of how life should be, you're going to come into some sort of difficult aspect. This is also Venus squaring the nodes, right? Venus square Neptune. There's a part that wants to, just escape into Wonderland and it'll all work out. But then there's that North Node, Jupiter in Virgo saying, hey, you got to do something about it. You just can't sit on the couch and expect things to happen. You got to go out there. You got to go get into a schedule. You got to get into a rhythm. And yes, you've got to be specific about it, but not so much to where you'll only do it one way. And I think that that's the whole point of this week. There is not one way. There are many ways. And to be open to that. And you've got to pick yourself up in all your vulnerabilities. Cut the deep cords from the past. The past is over. I think a lot of what we've gone through in 2015, it's over. It's done. We can truly feel the 2016 energy now. We can truly move forward into this energy. And I think that if you look at the Helio astrology chart, so now we're going to just totally brain screw you for the rest of this thing, okay? I'm going to give you a 7-Eleven brain freeze. The thing is in Helio astrology, on the sun as the center of the chart, Saturn and Neptune are just starting their square. Mercury's squaring Uranus, Jupiter's trining Pluto. This is a holy moment in the Helio chart. The same time that there's this holy moment happening with the nodes and Jupiter and Venus in this week. So to me, this is signaling that this is all about our feel-good centers. Venus and Jupiter are very gluttonous kind of energy, right? Venus is where you just want to drink all the goodness and enjoy yourself and, caress the beautiful leg of that person you love. Jupiter's where you just want to have the best party of your life and, just throw in another round and buy everybody a drink, or just give everybody, a piece of the pie. And I think this week we need to realize that we can have that in our life. But if we get distracted, if we don't want to step up into life, if we want to hopefully just let the universe drop it in our lap, there's this fine balance between trusting the universe but going about it, and more importantly, realizing that there are many options, because it is in our mind with Mercury and Jupiter retrograde, the only two planets retrograde, that if our higher and our lower mind are not working for ourselves, we are screwed. And so I think it's really important to realize that. Other than that, though, I think that this is a great week. It's going to be very interesting to watch relationships with all this Venus stuff, Venus square Chiron, Venus square Jupiter. It's almost like certain relationships can come in now to help heal you and help you see that there is more options than you realize. It's the difficulty in whether or not you're ready to see that in those relationships that are in front of you right now that I think that you need to pay attention to. This also kind of brings up an energy when the nodes square Venus, which is a very beautiful aspect, that destined relationships are coming into your life this week to help you see the direction and the reality you could have, or the fantasy or the lost energy of life that you could go. So you almost come to a decision point this week with relationships on whether or not this person in your life is going to take you into a reality that'll work, or this person is leading you down a road that is just fantasy and bullshit, and it probably won't, with the South Node over in Pisces. So what a week to think about. Overall, I think the main message is extreme positivity, extreme hope, knowing that we are at this amazing place. And Mercury is going to sextile Chiron as well as it retrogrades, to let you know that we can heal ourselves no matter what, that this is a week where we can get through no matter what, and there's actually so much positive. But if we let the past overtake us, if we let the old wounds come, and if we are fearful, and if we want it to be a certain way, and we are in relationships that are all not truly realistic, then how are we going to get there? And I think that we are at this extreme turning point this week, because if we look at the later part of the month, we're about to come into Aquarius, we're about to come into the full moon in Leo, we're about to come into Mercury as it conjuncts Pluto and squares Uranus in the coming weeks. If you just, this is the beginning of a portal, and this portal starts January 13th and it ends at the end of January. And this is going to highlight extremely lots of information and lots of things that are going to blow your mind, and you have totally reached it just by watching this video right now. Make sure you get my daily horoscope. You can get it at leoking.looksack.com/landing, or you can get it on my Apple or Android apps. It's super easy. Just get it at the app stores. And of course, you can get my January 2016 horoscope. It is at my website, inclusiveiastrology.com. And guess what? My classes are on sale. That's right, inclusiveiastrology.com. My 4 classes, which are usually $150 for the whole pack. They're $45 a piece, so it's $200 almost, or it's like $185 if you want all 4. I'm doing all 4 right now for $75. If you want to learn astrology like you've never learned it before, and I guarantee you I'm the best astrology teacher you will ever have in your life, over 8 hours of video, I make you laugh, I make you cry, I even make up